You mentioned Governor DeWine. So after approving it, DeWine talked about the budget and kind of his thoughts. Why, you mentioned the 600 isn't coming from the way he would have done it, which is an increase in sports wagering. But he talked about the budget.
That was not my first choice. I had another way of doing it. But governors don't get everything they want. Nobody gets everything they want in life. The criteria I set forward was it had to be holistic. Couldn't be just about the Browns. It had to be about all our teams in Ohio and future teams, because we're going to get some women's professional sports, more teams coming in. We just heard about the WNBA team in Cleveland. And this will continue to be, an issue. So my criteria is it had to be holistic, it had to be universal, but it also would not spend money out of the general fund that directly competes with education, directly competes with mental health. Stadiums should not compete with mental health. Stadiums should not compete with education. And so this budget, while it didn't do it the way I originally designed it, does that. And that was those two things were my first priorities.
And again, to make it clear, this is not out of the general fund. It's not taking money from education. It's not taking money from health services or those kind of things. Unclaimed funds that was sitting there unused.
That's what they say. Now, of course, the argument against that would be, yes, you could have used these monies for those things too. But there is one little caveat to throw in on this is Mark Dan, who is the former Attorney General of Ohio, says that he's going to bring a lawsuit to contend that this is an illegal use of unclaimed funds. That's your and my money or other people that have money sitting down there we haven't claimed with. I don't know what the chances are of that. But that's the one little caveat on the state money. This money's sitting there. They got, there's $4.8 billion. That's billion with a B sitting in a fund that people haven't claimed, that maybe you didn't turn in a rebate or something, or maybe some bank account was floating around for you. That's sitting there not doing anything right now. So that's the money that they want to tap for this. And I guess the argument, even if people think it's unwise to tap that money for that, there's $4.8 billion into that. They want to set aside a third of that, $1.6 billion, for these purposes. So it's not like it's wiping out that fund. And taxes from the site supposedly will be used to pay it off, and they're making Jimmy has them set aside money just in case his projections aren't as optimistic as they would be. So I guess that's a lot of words to say. It's pretty close to a done deal there too, but there is that little tiny caveat out there that people are contesting whether this is legal what the state did.